Hello and welcome back to the Joke of the Day. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Hallie.
How excited was the gardener about spring?
So excited he wet his plants.
When do monkeys fall from the sky?
During April showers. What season is it best to go on a trampoline?
Springtime. Boing.
Hey, it's Hannah.
Kind of talking about something serious. We normally talk about some things that should be talked about. This time we feel like this should really be talked about. It's something big issue that's gone on for many years, but no one really talks about. We hear all the complications about how it needs to be stopped and how you can stop it, but no one really talks about how it goes on within the school, and this is the bullying podcast.
Yeah, we thought it'd be a really great idea to talk about it this week because there have been a ton of fights going on in, LHS and even in the middle school. We're all a little bit confused why there are so many fights breaking out in school, and it's also Dating Violence Month. Well, February is Dating Violence Month, which doesn't really connect to bullying, but we thought it'd be a good time to talk about this anyway, so.
Yeah, and bullying's such a big topic within schools, and it's just hitting so hard now. Every single time I feel like I look on the news or I look on something, it's another person taking their own life due to bullying, and it's just sad, especially with cyberbullying coming up. A lot of people think that they don't see the bullying within their school, but there's always so many closed doors with bullying and cyberbullying, especially with technology coming up and skyrocketing. It's just no one really knows, and social media, and I know everyone says social media is a big influence because there are a lot of good things about social media, everybody knows that, but there are those little things. I know multiple people who have been torn down by social media, not just their self-ego with looking at models and stuff. Everyone says that's how social media is bad, but it's more of other people just trying to people we don't even know. Sometimes you get people you don't even know. It could be someone that just decided they just want to feel better about themselves, shows a random person and just wanted to tear you down. But especially with direct messaging on social media now, it's just so hard with cyberbullying and so much more that I feel no one really talks about it, and no one wants to talk about it because it's just such an emotional based thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's just it's difficult to talk about when you don't have a solution for it, and it's uncomfortable to talk about, which is why I feel a lot of people also don't talk about it.
Yeah, and now they just finally in 2014 came out the full definition, and
that's crazy.
By 2014 was finally just a definition coming out for bullying. And from stopbullying.org, it says in 2014 the Centers of Disease Control and Department of Education released the first federal uniform definition of bullying for research and surveillance. The core element of the definition includes unwanted aggressive behavior, observed or perceived power imbalance, and repetition of behavior or high likelihood of repetition. There are many different modes and types of bullying. So practically saying that it's aggression on somebody else. And I mean, it's not that definition isn't a key, where it's telling you what it is. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I feel everyone knows what bullying, everyone knows their definition of bullying.
Between two people or a group, or two groups of people, or a group against one person, and it's repeated aggressive behavior, whether it's verbal or physical, and it's unwanted aggressive behavior.
Yeah, everyone knows that has their own definition of bullying, and I think just there it kind of just explains what bullying
I think
is
the biggest thing to remember is that bullying is it's not it's a power imbalance. I can't speak. It's a power imbalance between two people. It's not just someone being mean to another person. It's someone using their power, whether it's because they're older or they have a higher social standing in the high school or whatever, and they're using that power against the other person to tear them down and make themselves feel better about it.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad because everyone sees these movies where it's the smaller figure of people getting bullied, and it's always the person they don't see. But there's people out there who they say have a higher standing in the school, or I don't even know how people want to put it, but they get everyone has their own stuff and can get bullied. It's not the littlest thing, and some people can never figure out why it's going on, and some people don't want to tell people that because they don't want people to think they're sad, and it's just so depressing because cyberbullying and just bullying in general, like, it just brings it everywhere. Like, once you get bullied or cyberbullied, you think everyone's talking about it, or like you feel like it could even be going outside your school because you're worried about it. And it's just anonymous and stuff.
It's just like people who bully other people are like, they're not terrible people because they're obviously hurting inside for some reason. Either they're also being bullied, or they have stuff going on at home, or they have something going on inside that they can't figure another way to like get out. And it makes me sad because like some people are so quick to judge and be like, oh, this is a terrible person, and like what they're doing is terrible, but it doesn't make them a terrible person.
Yeah.
They're just like hurting on the inside, and they don't know how else to take it out, and they don't feel like safe or comfortable to express it in a healthy way, or they don't know how to express it in a healthy way. And I think so much of this like falls on education, the education system. Like I don't feel like there's enough education on emotional health. And I feel like we don't know enough about, like, especially as teenagers with, like, our hormones and, like, just everything changing. And a lot of people don't have a support system at home. I feel like there needs to be more education on emotional health and how to, you know, properly talk about your feelings. And, like, there should be more sources to go to because a lot of kids don't feel comfortable going to their school counselors.
Yeah, and it's just a thing, like, so many people, like, keep it in. Like, you could be walking past somebody in the hallway and you'd never know what is going on in their life. Yeah. And we've talked to some people actually about their stories. Like, we know, like, they've came clean to us. Like, we've been kind of doing this story since the beginning of the school year this year, and we've talked to some people, and like I have like one that someone said that they just witnessed it, and they witnessed a girl being cyberbullied, and it was in 8th grade, and now they're a senior at the time, and it was a fake account and posting pictures of her and calling her bald and stuff, but she had a condition where her hair fell out and stuff, and it wasn't even cool, and they were calling her vulgar names on there too, like thinking that she was okay and also telling her to go kill herself. But like, this girl's in 8th grade. Yeah. Like, you're in 8th grade. Like, your hormones and everything is not going to be able to support that. Yeah. I mean, even freshman year, like I know like someone who was cyberbullied their freshman year, and it just took a toll on them. Like, it ruined every ounce of them. Like, it ruined them so badly to where like now it's like nothing's ever been the same, and happiness takes forever to come back.
I remember my friend like told me about this, and I didn't even have any idea, but like in middle school, like my friend, there was an account that was made about her, and it was like, I hate like blank, and it was just this account like dedicated to like posting mean things about like one of my friends, and it was like, and she was like, it didn't really bother me because that's really stupid, but like at the same time, like if she would have had a less than like really tough skin, yeah, and even though she has a really tough skin, like I know like it like probably hurt her feelings to some degree, but like I can't even like fathom what that would have done to like me. Like, I don't have that tough of a skin. Like, I can't even like imagine like how I would have felt if in middle school. Yes. Like, not even high school. Like, I'm such a different person now in high school, but I can't even like imagine or think about like being in middle school and like having an Instagram account dedicated to being like, this person is ugly, like this person sucks, like everyone be mean to this person because they're just a bad person. And, like, I can't even like imagine that. Yeah, I could never imagine just going through like my friend who cyberbullied her freshman year. It like tore her to pieces. Like, she had tough skin. Like, she would ignore them. She would ignore the posts or the DMs that were sent to her, and she wouldn't respond because she didn't want to give them the satisfaction. Yeah, the satisfaction of like them being upset. And it still got to her no matter how she didn't talk to them. Like, it was like, and sometimes it could be just one thing saying. Like, bullying is not just, it has to be a constant thing. No, it doesn't. It can be one thing said, and that is considered bullying. Like, there's a difference between messing around and especially constantly saying something. Like, it could start off like, people like enjoy it. Like, they start off with the, oh, like, you give them insults like ugly or fat or something, and then it can turn into more. Like, my friend, it turned into more of like suicidal or telling them to go kill themselves, and that is not okay. Like, it is terrible. Like, the other day, I know just today, like, not today, but like this week, that thing about the Australian 9-year-old came out about how he was getting bullied for his dwarfism, and that at a 9-year-old age, he is 9 years old, and there's a video going viral of him telling his mom he wants to kill himself because he's getting bullied. Like, that is so sad. That's horrific is what it is. It's like, no one should ever be, especially like even with disability, should never have to say that they want to kill themselves, especially at 9 years old. Yeah. They shouldn't even know they shouldn't know like that is possible. Yeah. I could never imagine going to school, and like they said that this is an episode of an everyday thing. Yeah. And luckily they're spreading awareness and like getting like
a lot of people have said that they're there for him, and he like got his hero because his dream was being a rugby player, and people would bully him for that, and they would literally tell him like all this stuff, and then like the rugby team came together and he went there and like did stuff. But like hearing that video, it was on Twitter, it was all over the news, like hearing the video of a 9-year-old saying that he wants to die has like broke me into pieces. Like something has to be done. Like I know we have these conventions that say, okay, bullying, it's everywhere, watch out for it, don't be a bystander, don't be an upstander, all that stuff. I mean, be an upstander, but like don't, like all this stuff that we have to learn in class, and it's like a thing that's repeated and everyone's kind of like, okay, yeah, we know, but does anyone actually truly know? Like, do they know? Like if you're witnessing something, even if you think it's just messing around, at least tell somebody. Ask the person, okay, ask, like sometimes they're never gonna want to tell you.
Yeah,
like my friend, it took her a year and a half to tell any of her friends that it was going on. So like it's just kind of like a whole situation that like you have to be able to like see what's going on and at least talk about it, or at least tell somebody, because you don't know what's gonna happen. And I feel like no one knows, like it does happen in our school. Like you think you don't see it, you don't think you don't hear about it, you think those kids are messing around. You don't know if they're messing around. And it's so sad that like especially with this society and all this stuff that's going on, like people killing themselves, people harming themselves, like that is such a known thing now. Like it should not be a known thing, because everyone's lives is so precious and amazing, and everyone needs to know they're worth it. And there's so many people out there to help them. Like so many people, like you might not even be friends with somebody, you might never have talked to them, and there's someone out there to help you. You just have to find that somebody. But everyone struggles with their own ways, and I know people don't want to open up, and it's hard. That's what makes it hard about this stuff. And that's why I feel like so many people need to be open about it, because that one person that's sitting next to you, you never know what's going on in their class. You've never spoke to them, you've never said a word to them, and then something happens to them, and it like hurts you so much, because you're like, that kid sat next to me, like even though I didn't talk to him, like it's so sad what he went through. And I feel like we could do so many things to stop it now.
What grade was this in?
8th grade.
Yeah. So in 8th grade, it was like my 7th grade year, but in 8th grade, there was this girl in middle school who got into a fight with this other girl in the cafeteria, and she like pulled her hair and punched her in the eye, and she like got a black eye, and like she obviously fought back because she's not just gonna like take it, you know what I mean? And especially it's middle school, like if you get in a fight and you don't fight back, like it's gonna ruin your middle school reputation, which is so dumb. But, like, the fight ended, and, like, this girl went to the bathroom and just burst into tears because she was being made fun of, which is why they got in the fight in the first place. And, like, that's so sad.
Yeah, the anger meant just they didn't want to do it. All right, if you know anybody who is currently being harassed or bullied or anything that has to do with it, could be just messing around, you're scared for them, you're scared for their life.
Or you've, like, seen something where someone's made a comment or done something and you don't know what's going on, but it worries you enough that you're, like, thinking about it.
Yeah, if you're worried enough to where you're thinking about it, you should probably report it to somebody. It could be a teacher. It doesn't have to be. We do have the tip line. A lot of people don't think that tip line works, but it does work.
I've reported stuff on the tip line and gotten called down to the office to talk about it.
But tip line, they shouldn't call you down for it if they do.
No,
but
I specifically said, I was like, you can call me down if you need to talk about it.
Yeah, but it is a thing that should be reported. You could go talk to somebody privately and say, I don't want them knowing that I'm the one who did it, that report it, and then they probably shouldn't, because that's confidentiality.
And
but
if you were to the tip line, like, obviously it's not going to be anonymous to the people in the office when they read it, because it comes from your computer and they know which computer each person has. But it will not be made known to anyone that you're talking about. They just either reported it. So if that's a concern, then.
Yeah, and it's just reporting the littlest things. Because I know one time I was worried about my friend and I reported her. No matter. Well, it wasn't the thing to report, but I got nervous and I reported to an office person, and I was like, I think I'm worried about her, and they at least just checked up on her, and that's a good thing. Just checking up on somebody could even be the littlest thing. Like, it can help them. You never know. Like, maybe it is bigger than you think it is. It could be smaller than you think it is, but just getting it off your chest. But we have the tip line. You can always go talk to Mrs. McNutt. Any of the office people probably. Definitely a teacher just going and saying, hey, I need to talk to you about something, because they will report it too. We also have people here that we have like the NWell people that you can talk to within the school that they talk to kids.
Bottom line, there are people in school that are here to help you and that want to help you. and you're never alone, whether you think that you're alone or your friend might be alone or your friend feels alone. Like, no one is ever genuinely, truly alone. And there are people that are here that are resources that want to help you, that their job is to help you, and that, they went to school for that job for a reason because they believe in helping people. And there are resources, there are people to talk to. Even just talking to your friends, you shouldn't just be quiet about it.
Yes, for sure. And
things don't change because you don't talk about it.
yes.
So if you want, things to change, if you want change to happen in your school, whether it's about you or someone else, you have to talk about it, because no one's going to know that it's a problem unless you're talking about it.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're doing it here, because we all know that we have combos every year about bullying. We talk about bullying within class, and everyone thinks that it doesn't happen in school, and that's why we were here, and we told a couple stories, because we want people to know that it does happen within our school. It does happen. There are things that happen. There are people that feel like they're bullied. They might not, everyone else might not think they are, but they are. There's things that are seen every single day in the hallway. There are
that
currently,
everyone just brushes off, and they're like, oh, it's no big deal, or there are people that are like, well, it's not my business. Like, I don't know if something's wrong. Like, it's never gonna hurt anyone and, like, their future and their life by just reporting it or talking to a teacher and saying, hey, I saw this, like, this is concerning, I don't really know what to do about this, like, I don't know if this is a first-time occurrence, or, but if something worries you, you should talk about it. And it's not gonna hurt that other person. Like, if nothing is going on, then nothing's going on, and they got checked up on for no reason, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case there is something actually going on, like, you should talk about it.
And it should be announced in that. Yep. What else? For more information on how to help yourself and others, you can go to our school website under the school safety tab and check out the tip line on your desktop.
If you or a loved one feels unsafe, you can reach the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255.
You can also find more information in our school office on services catered towards distressed youth.
Remember, you are never alone as you feel. You are loved, and you will make it through this. Thank you for listening to this installment of the LHS The Roar, the Pet Ed podcast. We'd like to give a thank you to our sponsor, Hackett Lawn Care.
We'd also like to give a very special thank you to Scott and Marion Bridge, who made this podcast possible.
Tune in next Gold Friday for the next episode.
And always remember to roll, Tigers.